Someone asked me the other day what my favorite sport is, and I realized I don't have a favorite sport. Some of my friends are really into American football. I guess it's fun if you like getting crushed by a guy who's the size of a refrigerator. I have another friend who's absolutely crazy about badminton. That's right, crazy about it, but it's true. The guy lives for badminton. I, on the other hand, get bored out of my mind chasing a little birdie around the backyard. Although, now that I think about it, I'd rather flail around the backyard chasing a little birdie than become a bird brain after getting crushed by a tank on the football field. Swimming is fun, mostly, but it's challenging. When it's not fun, I feel like I'm drowning. That's no fun. On the other hand, if I learn how to swim and someone else is drowning, I might be able to save a life. That'd be fun. Maybe I'll just learn how to play gin rummy instead. Without the rummy part, that is. Why complicate things? Life's too short for sports.
Well, that was a disaster. It turns out ordering out is a lot easier than cooking at home. And cooking is much more difficult than it looks in videos. I wanted to make a cake for my husband's birthday. How complicated could it be? It's just cake and icing, I thought. I put my phone on the kitchen counter and followed the video instructions. The woman in the clip kept saying, "You're doing great," and "Doesn't that look delicious?" But my cake looked and smelled like rotten soup, and my kitchen's fire alarm went off. Thankfully, the icing wasn't tricky, so the cake didn't look that bad. But when my husband took the first bite, his face scrunched up like he'd just bit into a lemon. Then he started laughing. "Thank you so much for the cake," he said. "I love it, but let's go get one from a bakery, yeah?"
My very first bus trip in a foreign country was an unforgettable experience. I was in the mountains of Morocco, and I wanted to get to the beach, but I didn't have a lot of money. So I decided to take the bus instead of the train. The bus picked me up at my hotel, which was really convenient. But as soon as we got on the highway, the trouble started. I felt so sleepy, and meanwhile, I really needed to use the bathroom. And buses, unlike trains, don't have bathrooms. And you know, I'm scared of seeing a bathroom in my dream. It's a trap. So, I had to solve my problem. The thing is, I didn't speak the language, and no one could speak English. Thankfully, the woman sitting next to me was very kind. She understood my problem by reading my body language and spoke to the bus driver for me. To be honest, I had never spoken to anyone on a bus before, but this woman really helped me out. The bus driver sped to the next stop and let me off for a few minutes. Crisis averted.
There I was, taking a long overdue holiday, staying in a luxurious hotel with a picturesque landscape spanning every direction from my balcony. And all I could focus on was the trash-filled rocky beach below. I felt like such a snob, but it made me feel bad for the environment and for me. This was not what I'd planned for my once-a-year vacation. I asked the receptionist if there was another beach nearby that was better. That's when she told me there was, in fact, a beautiful beach, but it was difficult to reach. Well, I'm not one to turn down a challenge, so I got directions, rented a bike, and started cruising the coast. Turns out, the receptionist was right. If not for the lush tropical scenery and a convenience store for replenishing food and water on my way, this would have been the bicycle ride from hell. I was determined to reach my destination, though, and it was worth it. Just as the sun was setting, the beach came into view. Sunlight danced across the sea, and the grains of sand glistened like white crystals. It was calling my name, so I leaned my bike against a palm tree and walked to the water's edge. Dipping my toes into the clear, cool water, I sat on the shore. I watched the sun as it fell off the edge of the horizon, and a crescent moon appeared from behind the shadows. It was breathtaking, and I was in awe.
Working together in groups is always challenging. There are as many personalities as there are people in the world. This makes playing in the orchestra especially difficult. But as long as everyone does their personal best for the sake of the music, personalities can blend as beautifully and as naturally as the sounds of the instruments. Mick, for instance, plays first violin, which totally fits his personality. He's extremely decisive and a little abrasive at times, but he's a perfectionist. That probably explains why he's been first chair forever. Tommy is one of the best percussionists I've ever heard, but he is super stubborn, and his inflexibility can be super annoying because music is so precise in rhythm and timing. Billy, on the other hand, balances all of us out. Like the slide of his trombone, he's even-tempered and easygoing, making everyone laugh when things get intense. Fortunately, we have Mary, who feels more like a mom than an orchestra director. She's like an emotional mind reader. She can sense our moods when we walk into the room. No matter what kind of day we're having, she knows how to pull us all together and unite us in our music. She's also incredibly sensitive, like me. One day, she sensed I was agitated. I was. I've been challenging Mick on the violin forever, but I've never moved up to first chair. She picked up on it right away and encouraged me not to take things so personally, reminding me to stay out of my head. She said, "It's about the music. Get your ego out of the way and put your feelings into the music. The rest will take care of itself." She was right. At the end of the day, I'm proud of how well we work together as an orchestra. We've also become better musicians and better people because of Mary, which is probably why we've done so well as a group. Your old high school classmate is getting married, your college friend is vacationing abroad, and you're at home looking at their pictures online. How do you feel? Some researchers have coined the term social media depression to describe the feelings of jealousy and guilt that some people feel when they use social media too much. Researchers have actually coined a new pop culture term that describes what happens to our emotional psyche from using SM too much. It's called social media depression. Instead of feeling more connected to people, we feel jealous and inadequate. It creates unrealistic expectations that lead to feelings of depression, which then leads us to disconnecting and isolating more. At least we're becoming aware of this now. More and more researchers are recommending that people turn off their devices and social media altogether. They can get outside and connect with people face to face or with nature. Damon John, the CEO and founder of the Shark Group, even suggests we avoid checking social media for the first hour of the day. We can center our minds on the things that matter most, our personal relationships. Snap out of it. Put your device down and ask a friend to meet you face to face for an ice cream so you can talk. The key to overcoming this negative evolving state of mind is to trust that you are good enough and perfect just the way you are. "You, son, are an idiot," said the manager to the managee. "You're fired." "And you, sir, are an idiom," said the managee. "You can't fire me. I quit." If only we could all be as quick-witted as Steve Martin's Clouseau in The Pink Panther when it comes to our managers at work. I have no doubt that being a manager is a tough job. It's a balancing act. How does a leader motivate employees to do their work best and still maintain professional boundaries and mutual respect? For example, my new manager is a nice guy, but instead of allowing me the time and space I need to do my job, he's constantly in my face trying to micromanage everything I do. To be honest, I'd like to smash him in the face with a frying pan, but all I have is a lousy stapler on my desk, so I'm trying to figure out how I can staple his mouth shut before he comes back to hover again. I know he's under a lot of pressure. He has to report to his boss the same way I have to report to him, but he got up and started grilling me about a report that wasn't even due for 3 weeks. I couldn't believe it. My head started spinning, and I'm pretty sure my eyes were bulging out of my head, too. I've never really thought about this before, but I know I need to make some sacrifices if I want to move up in the world. There's no doubt in my mind that I can, or that I will, but one thing I know for sure is, when I do, I want to be a friend to my colleagues, not a bossy one either. I really feel bad for the guy's dog.